Thank you, but what else is new? What else is new?
I was about to say Dynamite is also an AC/DC song, but it's actually called TNT.
I was about to say TNT is the song you're thinking of, my good sir, and TNT
sure
is to die for.
TNT is sadly not a phrase that means shit was good though. Dynamite is, so I figured close enough and you would pick up on it.
Right? I don't know. I still like Dynamite. TNT was probably, besides Dirty Deeds, TNT is probably one of my favorite songs, hands down. Easy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I am excited. Give everybody a second to roll through the door and have all the welcomes and yeehaws and chat before we get started.
Oh yeah.
Get my notes up. So I have some additions that you do not have, so that way you can have your own little take on it.
Okay.
Alright, we instantly go to 2, so I think that's what we're going to start with, or at least what we've been starting, how we've been starting with. So, we will start there, and we will go to the chatting screen. And I am lit up. My ugly ass is actually lit up for once. I went and bought a $20 desk lamp from Walmart. So now
oh wow, yeah, lighting looks good.
So now I am here. I've moved the microphone to there. Right there. Surveyor's in. And decided to make it.
Oi, oi.
Alright, so, you want to start with Darlington? Or do you want me to start? Because I'm okay with going straight to the elephant in the room. I'm okay with it.
Well, we'll save Darlington for last. You do whatever you wanted to talk about otherwise first.
Okay. So, the elephant in the room is, as the title dictates, we got our Darlington revenge. Darlington is one of those racetracks that just, for whatever reason, just comes out of the wash. Like, shit that's supposed to happen just happens. So, I'd say Logano having the shit day he had and Byron coming up clutch, as it should have been. And Flipheck's in, hello Flipheck, as it was supposed to happen. But I'm going to start off with my favorite topic of hashtag, why the fuck did you touch the truck fugal or car? Okay, so as I watched the race, the first caution was on lap 26, 27. So we came into pit. The announcer guy, also thank you for the Prime sub, Flipheck, really appreciate it. Thank you.
I was going to address that like whenever you stopped talking. I was not going to let that slide.
I saw it. I looked up. I saw. I got it. Good. Thank you, Flipheck. I love you.
Cool. Moving on.
So the announcer guy said that Byron was free on exit, which is exactly what the PR guy said. But according to what the news analyst guy that was at the racetrack said, Byron didn't want any adjustments. According to the PR guy, we took air pressure. Did not want an adjustment. Byron, according to that, did not want an adjustment. Fugal, according to the PR guy, gave us an air pressure adjustment. On lap 111, the air hose fell off, so the driver's hot. Byron's cooking inside the car. So, somehow or another, they reattach it, because I don't think they let him go the entire race cooking like a damn sauna. I really do not. At least I hope they didn't.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way they could.
So on lap 125, the next update is the car is tight, but we're catching the leader. After green flag stops had then occurred, the car was once again really tight after we had done another air pressure adjustment. So we finished stage 2 and 4th. We fell all the way to the back. So stage 2, the 19 wrecked itself trying to pass the 1 in 3 and 4. Like, just straight up. Which I think that was not as far into the race as I have it, or early in the race as I have it, so I think I put it in the wrong spot. But anyway,
this is Truex we're talking about, right?
Truex wrecked himself on 1 and 3.
Yeah, so...
That's way down the list, so that's
So this will come back up later. Everyone remember this moment. This comes back up later.
It also comes back to Chastain, but there. But before 210, we were still really tight. And we pit, so this was like sometime before, I didn't have like a lap time. But on caution on 210, we take an air pressure adjustment, which I think is for Ryan Newman. We have 50 to go, we caught the leader because of lap traffic. So we pit on 247, we had to avoid the 31 coming out of pit box, we slide back to 7th. Here's Ryan Newman's caution with 18 to go. We restart 7th. This is where Truex wrecks going into 3 and 4. He's full sends it into the corner. The car, which they're using that stupid way they're getting on the racetrack, instead of staying around the dotted line, they're doing that weird banking shit and coming up. And they bottomed out the cars, what I think happened, made him tight, and he just never got out of the gas. And hit... No, this was a different crash. Because this crash was something else. He hit something else. Because this took out... This caused the 4 damage. Because this was the big one. So yeah, the 19 wrecked twice in this race. He just had a little spin the first time, so yeah, that's correct. So the 19 wrecked himself again. He got tight. I think it was the 22. Yeah, he pinned the 22. The 22 is 4th. Okay, this is the crash that comes back. This is the pin crash. Alright, so this sets it up. Prior to this, on the front row, we had Larson on the bottom and Chastain on top. Larson runs Chastain into the wall. But Chastain was first at the time of caution. So we set it up again. This time with Larson on the bottom. Or no, with Chastain on the bottom and Larson on top. The prior restart, the one jumped it with no penalty. NASCAR said nothing, but the one jumped the restart, hands down. And they drove into the wall. We are scored 3rd because Byron, being the Chad he was, did that. And the only time it works is when it actually needs to. Did that stupid slap maneuver, but everybody was hungry for a win. And it worked, so he didn't get tight. He's the only one I saw that was able to consistently pull that off. Which, we have another restart after the one runs the 5 into the wall and both of them wreck. A little bit of payback, but the first rule in NASCAR is wreck somebody without wrecking yourself. Chastain's been pretty good about that, but for the ones that you win, you're eventually going to lose. We have a green-white checkered. Byron chooses the top with a damaged Kevin Harvick on the bottom, which is full on. Now, you told me yesterday that you think we should have finished 5th. We're going to get into that conversation, but we come back and win.
I said we should have finished 3rd.
Finished 3rd. There we go. We're going to get into that discussion. Because I saw something entirely different than what you saw, even though we saw the same thing. But we saw it 2 different ways. But either way, we won. Let's go. It's 3 wins on the year for Byron. Let's go.
Yes, I am very happy with the end result. Like, I am not saying that I'm upset that Byron came first.
No. Though I really wish Fugel would not have made that first air pressure adjustment, because it was all the way to the 2nd stage where we finally got a chassis adjustment. 180 some odd laps for the son of a bitch puts on and just tight. Because the track rubbered in. I swear to God, if the dumb son of a bitch would have just not made that first air pressure adjustment, just let the track go through a cycle before he touches the damn thing, it'd have been, we would have never had that, because we were up front all day. Regardless of the 31 putting us in the back, which I think the 31 saved us. Because we always on the bottom, we avoided everything. So like I said, Darlington is one of those old tracks that just has old magic in it. And we got what was supposed to happen last year happened this year. We were owed one, we got it back, we're set. The playoffs are a different story. You want to win in the playoffs, you got to go and get it. But Mama Darlington will give you one in the spring at least. So I'm very curious to hear what's your thoughts on the whole Chastain and Larson incident that led to us winning. I want to hear this. I want to hear it.
So, I had a completely different opinion to what the commentator said. Because, remember when I said put a pin in this back in Stage 2? In your summary of the Stage 2 wreck between Truex and Chastain.
The one that just spun Martin, not the one that killed him.
Correct.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
So what happened there was Chastain was on the outside. Truex was trying to squeeze him out. Truex gets a little too close, forces Chastain to bump the wall. When the car bounces back, that's what spins Truex out.
That's exactly
We
what
agree
happened.
on that, right?
Yep, that's 100%
Yeah.
what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Now, why, after witnessing this, does Chastain think it's a bright idea on the same turn, mind you, on the exact same turn?
That turn was 3 and 4. This was 1 and 2. Larson and then
Oh,
wrecked
was
1
it?
and 2. This was a whole different turn. This was 1 and 2 after.
Oh, shit.
So, the
Okay.
Truex
I for some reason I thought it was
Chastain
on the same turn.
was 3 and 4.
But the same thing, the same principle applies. Why are you trying the same technique? Like, Chastain was on the inside. He clearly could have beaten Larson just on speed, in my opinion. Like, in no way was Larson gaining on him off that restart.
No.
So
the reason behind that is...
For what purpose would he go and push Larson to the outside and basically subject himself to the same thing that the same thing that happened to Truex just a stage ago?
The caution prior...
He had to know that was going to happen.
It was payback.
Like, you push someone that close, but...
It was payback because the caution prior, the one that killed Truex or knocked him out of the race, when he got tight, Larson doored Chastain into the wall first. Larson did it first, and then, but because Chastain at the timing score had the lead, he chose the bottom, put Larson on the outside, and decided, I'm going to get my payback. Which is where you say, but
he wrecked himself for it. It's not worth it.
It's the first rule in NASCAR. Learn to wreck someone without wrecking yourself.
And he didn't.
No, so it backfired.
He didn't, because Larson got dumped back to 20th. Yeah, he didn't have a good finish, but Chastain didn't finish at all.
Exactly. Here's
honestly, the better revenge, when you're only 2 or 3 laps out, the better revenge is saying, I got first, you got second, eat shit.
It is. It is a good one.
So
here's the thing, though.
I don't know. In my mind, like...
I want to hear, why do you think Byron wasn't going to win that if Chastain and Larson didn't wreck themselves? While I go let my dog in.
I mean, honestly, he was just in third with, what, 2 laps to go? Like, with as much as Chastain was able to pull away from Larson, even just in 1 and 2, because the big difference between the crash between Truex and Chastain in Stage 2 and Chastain and Larson, like, right before the race ended, was when Chastain bumped back, his rear tires were basically in line with Truex's front tires. In the last 2 laps, it was the opposite case. Chastain's rear tires, when he was on the inside, were basically touching Larson's front tires. He was already ahead on the inside. He was already pulling away from Larson, and...
Yeah, but why wasn't Byron going to win, is what I'm saying. Like, he was in third, like, I got that
Why
far.
wasn't...
But, I mean, those two are going to race each other hard. Do you know how much time they're going to lose? How much speed? Byron was in the perfect situation. If those two don't wreck, he still gets around them going in 3 and 4. Because as high as those two ran and Byron taking that low, stupid-ass sweeping motion, how much speed he is going to carry? He's going to fly past. It is. Because those two are in the wall. Because if Larson doesn't... Because if Chastain doesn't wreck like they do and just bounces like this, NASCAR's not going to throw a caution until one of them is sideways. Byron's going to fly past it because both of them are in the fence. He is in the perfect spot placement. There's no way he doesn't win that. 90% of winning NASCAR races is just being in the front 2 rows, 3 rows, and just being able to take advantage. That's what NASCAR is. You don't always have to have the best car. You just got to be at the right place at the right time.
I'm just saying, if Chastain wasn't so hard up for revenge and just ran a clean last 2 laps, he could have come in first.
That is possible. What, Bobby?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he just chose the wrong play at the end. Like, he chose to be a dick to Larson. It ruined both of their race days, and Byron profited. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm rooting for Byron just as much as you are. But
I know.
Chastain threw away a perfectly good first place finish.
That he did. That he did.
That is all I'm trying to say. And he did it in a way that just proves that he could not learn from someone else's mistake when it directly benefited him in the same race.
It is true. It is true. But, lucky for us, we were in the right spot at the right time. And won. Byron got the win, thankfully. But I still think Byron, the way he's been all season, he's the only one that even has a chance of beating Larson or Chastain. And because those two are fighting like dogs, that he's just going to fly past them. He's going to get the draft, he's just gone. I don't think there is a scenario in which
I will say that
can't
is also a
win that.
possibility.
Like, the way those two are fighting, because if all he has to do is just get past them. If he can get past them, then he's gone. Because those two are going to continue to fight. They're not going to settle it. Their egos will not let them settle it. So that's all they got to do. That's all he has to do is just get around them. As long as he gets around them, getting out of 3 and 4, or 2 and 3, just get down the back straightaway. He's gone. There was not a scenario.
I guess that's fair.
Unless he gets wrapped up in it, there was not a scenario that Byron did not win that race. And if the crew chief could make a halfway decent call or just wait on the damn track to decide if it's going to do something before he starts adjusting on the car, we wouldn't be back in 5th. Of course, the 31 waiting 5 seconds to get out of the pit box would have been helpful. But the 31 had a good day, so shout out to Justin Haley. No ire, no ill will towards them, but pit a little farther up if you can. That's all I'm asking. So, but the result as it was supposed to be, the ugly car die-casts should be on its way about December. I've done purchased it. Like that,
okay.
Like the car is so, like it's, I modeled this car after. Like it's so ugly at the same time it's so beautiful.
Let's see where that puts you.
Last. Interesting. But anyway. So I got it coming, and I also ordered
Not
a
last.
Go
Not by a long
XLR
shot.
Mini.